morning, good afternoon, and even perhaps good evening for some of you. So, in fact, thank you very much for joining this webinar today. It's really a pleasure to make this webinar also with Cristian and also Roberto. So my name is Mathieu Sergent. I'm a lighting application specialist in sports and area within Signify. Some word about Signify for people perhaps that are unfamiliar with Signify. Signify is a world leader in lighting. Many of you may recognize us by our previous name, which was in fact Philips Lighting. It was changed to Signify about 6 years ago. So on your screen, you will see different metrics. I will not go into detail about all these metrics, but I did want to quickly show some of the key performance indicators, how we measure Signify performances, as well as some key metrics that we are really proud of. Like, for example, the 136 million of connected light points that we feel really define our company culture. So you can take a quick look at it. Then, of course, what our main, in fact, vision is to provide high quality lighting products, systems, services, and have a simple, clear purpose, which is to unlock, in fact, the extraordinary potential of light for brighter life and better world. And of course, one of the key pillars of Signify is the sustainability. Of course, not only for innovative, environmental friendly products that improve the life, but also how we operate as a company. So now we will speak today more into detail about sports lighting. And you need to realize that Signify has, in fact, as a long story, in fact, in sports lighting. Signify, I realize, lighting projects in many kind of sports application, from football, basketball, swimming, cricket, skiing, horse racing, and of course, as it will be the subject of today, motor racing. So I think you certainly have experienced Signify sports lighting installation, either during perhaps your recreational sports activity, could be indoor, outdoor, by supporting your favorite team in stadium, or by watching the game on TV. And even, I think, most probably during last summer, because there was the world's most famous sports event in Paris. So for sure, you may have seen one time in your life a sports lighting installation done by Signify. Of course, with the wide range of luminaire and system portfolios that we can provide, in fact, we can propose a complete lighting solution in sports lighting. For example, in a stadium, you can imagine that we can do VIP areas, changing room, pitch lighting, facade lighting, to really create a full immersive lighting solution. And today, even more, in fact, we see that the lights can also contribute in sports lighting to boost performance and also the well-being of athletes. So it's really a key parameter now also to the performance of the athletes. And to demonstrate that, I think a good thing could be to show, in fact, a short video that will tell you more about it.
Come on, come on.
let's jump really to our subject. So today we'll explore more in details about the lighting system of motor night racing. And in fact, I would like also to mention that we are really proud since a few months to be the official lighting partner also of Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team. And also, it is really important to understand that when, in fact, we develop lighting solutions or products for Formula One lighting system, we have two big main objectives, which are also the one given by the FIA, which are the one first, which is safety for drivers. This is really essential and official. And the secondary one, high quality television broadcasts, because these are really the two needs that need to be met to be able to have night racing. Also, as you may know, in 2023, Signify have used the Signify floodlight arena vision LED have been installed on two F1 races. The first one is Singapore, and the second one is Las Vegas. So thanks to, in fact, the development around the product itself to really have dedicated lighting solution, lighting beams to be able to be in line with all these high demanding specs, we are able, in fact, with the change from HID luminaire to new type of LED luminaire to have, in fact, energy saving only on the luminaire itself of 30%. On top of it, we were also able to limit the speed light and to have a better glare control. So we work on these two main projects, in fact, hand in hand, in fact, with our long-term, well-known partner in F1, which is DZD Engineering. So without further ado, I'm very proud to give the floor to Roberto Grilli, DZD Engineering General Manager, who will tell you more about it. And after also Cristian, part of his team, will go more, in fact, into detail about the technical aspect of this night project.
We are proud to be here today. Actually, I would wish to bring you into the history of motorsport night racing, especially for Formula One. So this is the agenda of today. Before to dive into today's topic, I wish to introduce you about our company, who we are, what we do, and why we have been involved since day one into the first night racing in history. We are part of Dino Zoli Group, a holding that counts 14 companies. Among the other, the Dino Zoli Textile, producing textile for furniture. We have a real estate company in Italy and in Brazil. We have a foundation of contemporary art, and us, Design Engineering. We have our main HQ in Italy and 4 entities, one in Singapore, one in London, Las Vegas, and last but not least, a branch in Riyadh, where I am right now. We are a system integrator and a general contractor company providing full turnkey solutions in some niche market of lighting and telecommunication. In lighting, in Italy, we are well known for solution related to architectural and heritage building and archaeological sites. For systems, we are specialized in solution for industrial and port areas, and of course, another niche market, another industry where we are specialized is the motorsport and sports lighting, which is today's topic. We started our operation in 2011 for the racetrack lighting and race communication system for the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. Well, I have been fortunate enough to be part of the first team that has developed the first ever night race, which is still something unique because the entire infrastructure is integrated with all the lighting solution and the race electronics packages, installed and dismantled every year. To give you an idea of the magnitude of this project, this is the circuit layout of Singapore, and those are some numbers related to it, which is number from the media, that we give it to the media the first year. As you can imagine, as you can see, we have more than 1,500 floodlights on 7,000 meter of aluminium truss, which is supported by almost 250 pylons. On top of it, 280 kilometers between cable and fiber optic, 47 camera, and so on. So this is a solution that we developed, and as I say, it is still unique because it's still the only one that integrates everything in the same infrastructure. But let's start from the beginning, starting with Formula One. What is Formula One? I presume everyone connected knows about Formula One. There is nothing to be ashamed about if you don't know it. When I arrived in Singapore in 2007, most of the people did not know what was Formula One. Actually, I can say that in the last 5 years, thanks also to some products on Netflix, it became very popular and increased the popularity. But if you want to dig more, there is a link, as you can see, from the Formula One website, which is related to what is Formula One. It's a 5 minutes video, quite interesting. I will explain in details. Anyway, is the top level competition that you can have in car, and it started in 1950. And for 57 years, no one has never thought to have a night race. And so why a night race? Well, the idea came out from the former CEO of Formula One management, talking with the Singapore government and the promoters. They wanted to have something unique, and this is the four key points related to the reason why it was an advantageous, according to them, to host a night race. First of all, global appeal and TV audience. In 2007, the most number of fans of Formula One was in Europe, and having a night race in Asia was a perfect combination to have during early afternoon, a perfect view on TV for the audience in Europe. And that was the number one point of Formula One management. For Singapore instead, it was more important to become a global destination for Asia and Southeast Asia. Having a spectacular and unique experience, they wanted to become the Monte Carlo of Asia, but at the same time to even more attractive in a way in terms of event. Of course, there was also consideration on the weather. It is very humid, Singapore, and they were expecting to have a better performance having a night race. And so, the first night race. We received a phone call that time in 27 asking us to deliver a solution. Why us? At that time, actually, we started, as you have seen, we started as engineering in 2011, but this Dinosaur Group acquired the company that started the operation, and it was a company with a long experience in Formula One since 1970s. The first communication between drivers and box was developed and tested by our company. We had TV broadcasting company as well, so we know as well very well how to enhance and what is the requirement for a TV production. And at the same time, we were specialized in lighting because at the end of the 90s, we came out with some innovative solution for city centers. So we had the entire knowledge to develop a solution for this innovative and exclusive event. And so where to start? I love to share this story. It was May, around April, May 2007, and my boss at that time came into my office asking me if I have 5 minutes of my time for lighting calculation. Well, those 5 minutes became 16 years for me in Singapore. But I mean, we need to start it to develop something, but we do not really know from where to start. And so I thought to check, first of all, the guidelines, but no official guidelines. The only indication that we had was we have to stay between 1,200 and 1,500 lux for TV broadcasting with good uniformity. And I will not enter into the details of the lighting calculation and the lighting infrastructure because I will leave it to Cristian Salucci, our chief engineer, in the second part of the presentation. So we came out with a solution with the lighting calculation, and we did a test in Paul Ricard in France. And it was not approved, the solution. Why? Because at the same time, the infrastructure was giving the impression on TV, if you think to take it from a different angle, to have like a wall of steel. And so if you also think to have a grandstand behind, it might look like watching a race inside to a cage. So they said, go back and think about something different. And so we come out with a solution, the test in our factory with truss. And we did the test officially in March 2008 with the Singapore government, with the media, and with all the people, promoter of course, and all the people involved. As you can see on the left of the pictures, you can also notice a grandstand because they wanted to have the feeling and understanding how it was impactful for the viewers that were enjoying the race. The test went well. It was 30th of March 2008. And so we move forward and we deliver the full turnkey solution for Formula One Singapore Grand Prix. For whoever of you is a lighting designer or is quite technical person, really understand how it can be different to actually deliver a solution that is on paper and the result of this solution in reality. And this is the reason why I will share with you some interesting pictures. The drivers, once arrived on the track, they were very exciting to understand which was the challenging and the different approach to the race. Here you can see a driver. Most of you might recognize it if you are a fan. He was testing the helmet visor just to be sure that the darkness of the visor was good enough to avoid any dazzlement, any glare, because of course, we try to be as good as possible on the entire track, but in some angles, for whoever knows very well the lighting calculation, you can have some discomfort, let's say that. To avoid and to minimize that, the drivers and the teams came out with solution with different helmet visor to help the drivers during the racing. And some of them went also through the entire track with bicycles and jogging, just to be sure that any corner would have been seen properly during the driving session. But anyway, everything went well. And so that night, it has been written a new chapter in the history of Formula One. And so let's see what happened right now on the popularity of night racing. So if you look at what happened and which was the situation in 2008 for the calendar, for the Formula One calendar, we had 18 races, And of course, only one was a night race, the Singapore one. If we have a look to the 2024 calendar of Formula One, we have 24 races. So it became more popular, more locations, and even more countries and cities that want to enter into the circus. And we have already 6 night races. So it means that from 2008 to 2024, the night racing experience increased significantly, and we will see it why. But which other night races for us? What happened in these 8 years, aside Singapore, that, as I told you at the beginning, it's a straight circuit. So everything is dismantled and everything is installed again the year after. So it's a new solution, a new system every year. By the way, let me jump for a quick while into a different championship, which is Formula E, another one-seat car competition. After the first ever Formula One night race, we lighted up also the first ever Formula E night race in Riyadh, in Diriyah, in 2021. And in the same year, also the London E-Prix, which is an indoor 600 meter of the tire layout is indoor, and so we had to light it up exactly as a night race. Last but not least, last year, as Mathieu has already anticipated, we lighted up Las Vegas with a unique solution that it will be, I presume, better explained by Cristian later. I think that one of our key points was developing a solution that was not blocking at all the activities of Las Vegas. For whoever of you is from Las Vegas or he went to Las Vegas before, knows very well that it's a city that never sleeps, and the activities of the city need to be carried on all the time. And that was, I presume, one of the keys of our success. And so the night races became very popular. So everyone presumed that the guideline came out, which is exactly what happened. In 2010, the federation, the FIA, Federation Internationale of Automobile, came out with the motor racing circuit floodlights for competition vehicles without headlights. We helped them to draft the first document, and following years in 2019, we were in Birmingham as a partner to develop also the second release that was in 2020, March 2020. And I want to give you some hints on the main differences between the first and the second version. Okay, safety became the first priority. Not that it was not in the first document, but for sure it became the remark was even significant. The quality of materials, that has to be all the time the top, and that's the reason why we are a long-term partnership with Philips Lighting and Signify, and we work all the time with them for the motorsport, in the motorsport industry, because I'm not telling you because I'm working with them, but as a professionist, I can tell you that is the best product that you have on the market. So lighting specification value, which decreased significantly. This is why, because over the years, the TV broadcasting quality increased, and so it decreased the quantity of light required. And Appendix B, that gave to promoters the way to check, a tool to check whatever has been realized, if it is in line with the specification. So we are hitting the mid-end of our journey. So we have seen the night racing that's starting to become more and more popular, but we need to understand right now even the benefit of it. And so if we look at the economy impact and engagement. The comparison of 10 to 12 hours of fun engagement is much higher compared to the 5-6 hours for daytime races. This is why the circuit park is open in the afternoon. Usually people can enter and enjoy supper races, enjoy also entertainment, food and beverage, so they spend more time inside the circuit park. And so there is also a higher per capita spending, 30% more compared to a day race. Last but not least, 10-15% higher attendance for night races is referred in motorsport event. But so we have seen there are tangible benefits for night racing, but I want also to go back to where we started, where Singapore is standing now. It came out a media deck at the beginning of this year from the Singapore Ministry saying that since 2008 they had over than 550,000 international visitors that has been attracted by the Singapore Grand Prix. They had also a generation of $2 billion Singapore dollar in incremental tourism. The global audience on TV was more than 1 billion viewers between 2008 and 2022. So as overall, Singapore Grand Prix has brought a substantial benefit, raising Singapore as a vibrant global Asian node. In 2016, someone said that it was a joke, but it came from a very important voice. Someone said that Singapore, before the Formula One, was just an airport, and it made even not unhappy some people in Singapore, which is absolutely not true. But at the same time, it's also true that the entire Singapore Grand Prix benefit important the entire industry in Singapore. So we reach the conclusions. So the popularity of night racing is steadily increasing, as we have seen. A night race will enhance its attractiveness to spectators and boost revenue opportunities for promoters. Last but not least, lighting solutions should extend beyond the circuit to include other infrastructure, ensuring a great impact. This is the reason why, over the years, we also lighted up different areas and different infrastructure of Singapore, Garden by the Bay, National Gallery, and Esplanade Theatre, to create even a greater impact on TV. Thank you very much.
My name is Cristian Salucci. I'm a designer and project manager at DZ Engineering. Thank you all for this opportunity. I'm proud to tell you about my work and what we have done in recent years together with Signify. I tell you about the technical, infrastructural, and lighting implication linked to what was achieved for Formula E in Riyadh, Formula E in London, and especially for Formula One in Singapore and Las Vegas. In general, our system is made up of 4 elements. A steel metal plate as a foundation element with precast concrete ballast to ensure stability. A pylon made by aluminum truss or a steel mast that is reinforced with a rear element called chair. a bracket on top or a cantilever where the span can be fixed. A span made by squared, rectangular, or foldable truss that can be tensioned depending on the type of the pylon. When we approach the preliminary design of the system of this type, the question we typically have to ask are essentially four. Is the site survey strictly needed? Well, generally speaking, we can say that the examination of the problem present on the construction site, especially relating to the placement of the metal plates, is certainly desirable. Which is the best track site where we have to install our system? Well, it is the site more comfortable for good lighting levels. Much better if it is on the same side as the camera, as the broadcasting camera. In some situation, a double side is strictly necessary. For example, when we have a runoff area to light it up. Which is the floodlights aid to consider? Indicatively, the installation aids of the projectors and therefore of the truss system are between 8 and 10 meters. Last, how many floodlights can be used for each span? Of course, it depends on the type of the span and obviously on the width of the track. In general, we can assume an average distance between projector varying around 4 and 5 meters in order to follow the FIA guidelines. This document considers the power supply and structural elements required to physically carry the light, as well as lighting levels and verification procedures are part of the lighting system. In general, the primary aim is to provide a guide for the design, approval, verification of lighting systems that meet the performance criteria to deliver a quality of illumination of motor racing circuit necessary for drivers, for officials, marshal, and in order to perform their task in a safe environment. The second aim is to provide a guide, a specific guide, to deliver the required level and quality of illumination for high-quality television broadcast. We are talking about horizontal and vertical illumination level, but also we are talking about uniformity and diversity level. In terms of operation, the infrastructure activities start from a marking check, better if it follows a topographic survey, of course. Second, an evaluation of all issues related to the positioning of the metal plate. In example, manholes, flower beds, pedestrian footpath, etc. So we have to follow a real adaptability to the context, to the city. And also, we have to provide a safe system even during the installation activities. After the pylon installation, the truss span is lifted with the help of a mobile crane and two boom lift that fix it to the pylon brackets. So what we can say is that the activity strictly connected to the span lifting depends on the span leg, obviously. Depends on the engine system, on the installation schedule. But most important thing, it depends on floodlight positioning and aiming. In this picture on the right, we can see how we have solved the LED driver location in order to achieve a proper tilt and pan of each floodlight without any clashes toward the truss structure. FIA guidelines give us some important feedbacks about the electrical distribution. One of them, probably from my point of view, the most important is the redundancy system. The lighting system must be designed so that the use of any section of dual supply cable or power supply point will not cause the illumination on the section of track served by it to be affected by more than 50% in terms of illumination level, in terms of average illumination levels. Furthermore, the system must include a full safe backup lighting capable of immediately delivering not less than 50% of the normal illuminance on the track for 30 minutes if the main system fails catastrophically. What does it mean? In general, in our system, along the circuit, there are areas named PGU, Power Generator Unit area, roughly between 12 and 16, where are located in each area 2 generators in parallel with a simple main electrical panel that is named map. From each map, there are several circuits, several primary cables that give power to the secondary panel named the TCP in the middle of the slide. TCP means truss control panel. Every TCP connects 12 floodlights. All the primary and secondary cables are installed on the truss in order to avoid any risk. And it will be necessary from the beginning of the design to optimize the number and the location of the PGU area, to check the best solution in terms of primary cable distribution, lengths, drop voltage, whatever is needed for a proper design. And we have to solve the overlapping system in terms of what FIA guideline is asking us in terms of redundancy system and backup system. This is what we have done, a simple an example that what we have done in Las Vegas. In general, the system overlaps to have 50% of the fixture always on along a stretch potentially affected by a fault. If there is a fault of one generator, nothing happens because the generators are in parallel. If there is catastrophic fail, both generators are off, thanks to the overlap, at least 50% of the floodlight, you can see it on top of the slide, in the portion of the circuit served by that PGU area will remain on, thanks to the power coming from the nearest PGU area. Again, same situation in case of catastrophic fail that involves the main electrical panel. It can happen. 50% of the fixtures will remain on, even if, remember, FIA guidelines require at least 50%. In case of fault on the TCP or a functionality problem of a single circuit, no more than 12 floodlights will remain off, but never consecutively, thanks to the redundant electrical distribution. In any case, or where strictly required by the customer, there will be a control room where it is possible to control all the operating parameters of the lighting installation and all integrated systems such as CCTV or public address. So actually, our goals in terms of lighting effects are, first of all, maximize the horizontal uniformity. It seems easy, but it's not easy. This aspect is strictly related to the optic choice. In example, as shown in this picture, it should be needed to use symmetric optic. You can see some of them on the right side of the slide for large areas to cover. Also, the camera plan needs to be considered in order to evaluate a proper vertical level towards the camera position. Last, the spin light effect would be controlled to achieve the best aiming. At the end of the day, it's important also to check what the broadcaster manager is able to see. Everything can be solved starting from the lighting calculation. Tilt and pan, that means the rotation of the projector on the horizontal and vertical planes, allow the optimization of the levels. The LED optics are truly high performance, but require maximum accuracy and precision. This is the reason why the digital level is our best friend even during the day. Following this procedure, we are really able to control 100% of the emission, covering only where strictly needed. In this picture, we can see how the light is really in where we need, even if Las Vegas is not a good example in terms of surrounding. But again, we have achieved the best spin light control. Even because, for example, the palm trees are not lighted up by the fixture, the palm trees on the left. Anyway, in my opinion, the secret is not to fight spin light, because sometimes we need it. This is the case of the illumination level needed for the officials area behind the safety barriers. We are talking about 500 lux with a uniformity 0.5 and diversity 0.3. Indeed, a good tilt can give us a good result with the right control of the spin light also behind the truss system. This is the real power of the Signify LED lens, and probably it is the future of the power optimization of the street circuit lighting. So we are always focused on these topics. Reduce the installation height, that means reduce the flux. Use a symmetric optic as much as possible to direct the light only where it is strictly needed, avoiding any kind of light pollution or glare for the people on the stand, for the people on the streets, for the drivers, for the officials. Reduce the total power consumption thanks to the optic choice and the control of the diffused light, which really can become our best ally. Don't forget that. Currently, for example, in Singapore and in Las Vegas, we are using 1,600 fixture with an energy saving of 35 roughly compared to the 35% compared to the metal light technology. So in conclusion, together with Signify, we're trying to improve the quality of the system, thanks to the Signify technology, of course, and our field experiences. And as you can see in the advertising banner on top, we are doing it together for better.